Hi guys, I am super excited today to be finally coming out with some new releases after quite a long time of not having regular releases. It's been probably a couple months at this point, so we are just gonna dive right into a regular release schedule again with weekly releases. I am kind of taking it slow for this first week with just some additions to the basics collection. There's some really exciting stuff in here though, so like don't be fooled by the fact that it's just additions to the basic stuff, because I really love what's in here. But starting next week, we are going to continue with the themed collection, starting with Valentine's Day, which is already done, designed, filmed. It's gorgeous. Y'all are going to love it. So keep an eye out for that. Look forward to that. But in the meantime, this is just some stuff that I've been wanting to do for a while to add to basics, along with some requested stuff. So I just had a random burst of inspiration one day and just designed all of this. So let's go ahead and dive right in, starting with the requested stuff, which is the scripts and icons, which it has been quite a while since I put out a poll asking you guys what you wanted in terms of scripts and icons, like which ones and how you wanted them arranged on sheets, what options you wanted. The reason I did not originally include these in my foil bundles is because I personally don't use these from other shops. And I just wanted to like fill up the bundles with more interesting stuff. And there is quite a variety of stuff in my bundles. But popular demand decided that I would bring these to shop. So we do have scripts and icons. Well, obviously scripts are already in my shop. There are custom scripts available as well. But I decided to kind of put it into a sampler format. So let's start with this page, which has both the scripts and the icons. So this is like a half sheet that is a great add-on for any foil bundle. It is not included in the foil bundle listing. It will have to be purchased separately as a separate add-on, similar to the matte label sampler. But you can just like slide it right into your foil bundles that you pick up, because obviously it's a half sheet, so it will fit right in, same as with other shops. So we do have the script side, which has I think the top like 20 or 22 or 23, I think it was 23 in unique scripts on here that were the top 23 that were requested, and some variations of those. And there are several duplicates on here as well. I was able to cram, I think, like 42 or something, 40 something scripts on here total, due to the duplicates. And I kind of did the duplicates based on like how many times I think the average person would do something per week. Obviously there's some on here that like you might not necessarily do, or that you might not mark, like reading and washing dishes, but they're there if you need them. So for work, I did have room to put 7, just in case you're having a busy week and you're working every day. So there's up to 7 on there. So you'll definitely not run out of those. And let's see, so let's just start from the left. We have the cursive ones, and then we have the hybrid ones going more towards the right. So we have 1 laundry, 2 naps, 1 payday, 3 reads, 1 shopping, 1 appointment, 2 cleans, 2 cooks, 1 budget. We have 1 plan, but then we also have planning time, getting into the hybrids. Oh, and I stuck in another read over here, so there's actually 4 reads. And then we have a grocery run. We have 2 of those. This one is just sideways. And then we have In My Feelings and Annoyed AF, if you want to mark your emotional stuff. We also have Tired AF over here, which kind of counts. We have Wash Hair, Wash Dishes, YouTube Binge, 2 different ways. Sleep Early, Sleep In. We have 2 of the sleep ins. And then we have Up Early over here. We have another Tired AF. We have 2 TV times, we have 1 Happy Meal, and then we have 2 Starbucks runs. So there's quite a lot on there, definitely a ton. I'm really pleased with how many I was able to fit. The cursive and hybrid did get the most votes, which is why there are no block fonts on here, but obviously those are still available elsewhere in the shop and in the custom listing. And then I believe the contour cut icons got the most votes, which is why these are the type of icons that is on the sampler as well. So we have bigger ones, which all of these fit in 3rd boxes, can be used for half boxes as well. The top part and then the bottom part is little thing size. So they are basically repeats of the same. It's also like 22 or 20. I think it's actually 24 icons if I remember correctly. And then this is a slightly different format from the individual quarter sheet because I didn't quite have enough width to just include all of it. So I had to like cut some out and then like sprinkle some tiny ones along the side because there was room. So it looks slightly different, but it's pretty much the same icons. So I will go into the icons in depth on the next sheet, but this is basically how it looks and how much you get, which is a ton. The weekend banner is not on this sheet. In other shops, it usually is on the same sheet as the scripts, but because it's on page 4 of the bundle for me, I did not include it on the sampler. So as I alluded to a second ago, both of these, the script sampler and the contour cut icon sampler, are going to be available on their own individual quarter sheets as well if you want to just pick those up separately if you don't use both. And then the icon sampler also comes in a circle icon format, which is like the most standard format for icons. I feel like I did get enough votes to where like I think more people voted for this, but enough people voted for this to where I wanted to do it anyway. So here I will explain the icons that are on here. Ignore any oops that you see, by the way. We have a house, a car, YouTube play button, credit cards, fast food, laptop, cell phone, coffee mug, open book, pillow, shopping bag, shopping cart, sleep mask, bed, stethoscope, TV, utensils, washing machine, clock, sticker sheets, a cloud planner, $, present, and Instagram icon, and then it kind of repeats going down there. I don't think it's an exact repeat. Actually, no, it does look like it is an exact repeat. Good. So there's like 2 TVs on there, which is important. So I did do most of the top ones that were requested, and then a couple that I thought just like kind of needed to be on there that like it just didn't seem like a complete icon sampler without them. So some of them were just like kind of my idea, but I think this is a pretty good icon sampler. There are no workout icons on here because they were not requested. Like only a few people voted for them. But I think I will do a separate workout sampler for those people who want them. And I did have a customer request a few of those type of icons on their own, which I think I might put into a whole sampler. And I have also had people ask whether these icons are going to be available individually. Not at current, but it is my plan to eventually add them into another listing to where you can pick out individual ones. So that will be added at some point, but right now it's just available in a sampler form. So those are the long-awaited script and icon samplers. Okay, so next, let's go over the fun stuff. And then we'll kind of leave the more basic stuff for last. So these are like my personal favorite sheets that I'm about to show you. So I did kind of, well, basically I got tired of the dividers sheet that I have, which is very basic and very boring in my basics collection. I do really love the simple line dividers, which are not pictured. Basically, they look like that. I love using those over fancy labels, over like where the glitter stroke is. I'm just obsessed with them. So I did take those and just made a whole sheet of just those. So that is in addition to the dividers in shop. I think the original dividers sheet is still available. So that is available for purchase, but you can get also a whole sheet of just the line dividers. Don't quote me on that though. I might have discontinued the original dividers sheet. I have no idea. But decided to do that, and then I decided to add more dividers that like I feel like I would actually use. So let's start with these, which are just like simple dot dividers. So I just took some dot patterns and well, I made some dot patterns and then turned them into teeny tiny dividers. Like these almost turned out to be a little too dainty, like you can barely see them, which I love. Like personally, I feel like I'm going to get a lot of use out of these. I love dainty tiny foil that you can barely see. Like that's my thing now, is like really subtle sparkle or subtle shine. So this sheet, the way you see it right now, is the original prototype version, which has all of the teeny tiny ones. However, I did just like make them slightly bigger, and then I think the bottom 4 sections here I did replace with like the bigger versions. in the actual sheet that is listed in the shop. So you'll just kind of have to look at the listing photo and get an idea of the sizing of that. But this is the original sizing. So super dainty. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 styles there, which like it doesn't really matter. Like it's not like each style has a purpose specifically. It's just like aesthetic reasons. I just wanted to do those six patterns. So here is the dot divider sheet. And then I did, of course, want to do decorative dividers because a lot of shops have decorative dividers. But, like, I don't like a lot of them because I feel like they're just huge. And, like, when are you going to use that? And, like, in my style and a lot of y'all's style of planning, we use, like, bougie boxes that, like, are crazy and you can't put dividers over that. So what do I use dividers for? I use them over half boxes pretty much, or sometimes in the sidebar, wherever I can sneak one in. But it's mostly like over half boxes and third boxes. So I really needed tiny dainty dividers to be able to use in those spaces. Obviously, like just everything else, I needed to be tiny and dainty. So the patterns that I picked out are tiny and dainty. So this is not a lot like other shops' divider sheets, which they do like really cool fancy dividers, which I love, but I just like can't personally use. So this sheet is something that I will personally be able to use. Maybe not so much the swirls down here. Let me get a couple versions of these swirls, but these, yeah, I think I'll get a lot of use out of these. So these are just like tiny dainty patterns. I did kind of group them by style kind of a little bit. Like these have like the circle at each end, but other than that, I'll just let you kind of see what the patterns are. But they're so tiny and dainty. Like here's my tiny little fingernail. I have really tiny nails, which I think you might have noticed. Well, they're getting long, but my nail beds are tiny. And then compared to the size of these dividers. So these are super thin dividers. It's crazy. But yeah, I really like this sheet. I think I'm gonna get a lot of use out of it. So, well, both of these. So these are my new dividers sheets, and then not pictured is the simple line divider sheet because y'all know what that looks like. And then let's go into the corners. So for some reason, like I have been doing corners for each collection, just like the confetti corners and then just like new ones that I make for that sheet. But I didn't have like confetti corners based on the actual confetti full box overlays in my basics collection. So I just decided to go ahead and do that because it needed to exist and I was surprised I didn't already have it. So we do have 3 full sets of the medium confetti corners. And then we have 2 full sets of these small that was able to fit onto this sheet. And then I did do 2 more corners sheets just because I was trying to think of like the types of corners I would actually use. One of them is photo corners, which are like the most basic photo corners. They kind of look like a snapshot or like, I don't know, if you have like the type of camera that like shows these markings in all 4 corners, that's kind of like what I was thinking of as you're like taking the picture. But yeah, so these are just like L designs basically in every orientation, which honestly is hilarious because I could have just literally kept them all the same way because it's the same design. Like it doesn't matter which way you turn it, it's going to be the same L shape. So I don't know why I decided to like twist them around. Like how dumb is that? I don't know. It just looks, I mean, it looks like it's corners now, like for all 4 corners instead of just like 1 corner. I don't know. It looks like it's easier to tell what it is because I switched them around. But we have the thick ones on top and then like a medium thickness and then like a really skinny thickness down there. And then I did ones where I did a little dot in the corner. So there's thick, medium, and then thin with the dot in there just for interest purposes. And then I did teeny tiny ones at the bottom because obviously I need teeny tiny ones of everything. These are actually already very small, so they're going to be nice and subtle, easy to put onto any full box without covering up too much of the clip art, just to add, you know, a little pop of foil. And then these are going to be great for that purpose, but also for like half boxes and third boxes and, you know, places that I use corners a lot. So nice and dainty and subtle. And then I also did decorative corners, like the photo corners of ye olden days, when we all used to use them, you would get some that were more like this, but I of course just picked out my favorite, most dainty decorative designs that I felt like I would be able to use, as opposed to like some of the really odd designs that were on the sheets of ye olden days. So I just did like some really beautiful dainty ones that are very like sophisticated. So we have this one design. This is like design number 2, and then we have these swirls over here, which are like 3, and then this is 4, and then here we have 5. Actually no, this is 5, this is 6, and then 7 and 8. So yeah, it looks like there's 8 different patterns on there. So yeah, again, very tiny, very dainty. They're not going to take up too much space on the full box, but they are gorgeous. And again, these are also going to be great for using with half boxes. So those are all of the corners that are going to be added to my shop. And then I'm also really excited about this. These strips are like washi strips, basically. So instead of having the whole washi overlay, if you want, again, something more subtle and dainty, little pop of color, or not color, of foil down there in the bottom washi area, you can just grab a strip. So we have 2 versions. We have the dots and the lines as per usual. So I took the exact same dot patterns as on the dividers sheet, made them bigger, and now these are strips for the bottom washi. You can just see the original dividers over there in that corner space. But yeah, these are cut to be the width of typical bottom washi, but if you want to use them elsewhere, like along the top, just let me know and I can probably do a sheet that has them going the whole way across up top here too, and you can just trim it to whatever size you want. But right now this is kind of like my idea of what it's meant for, so that's kind of how I formatted it, just for ease of use. But yeah, if you just want to add some simple dot borders, like maybe you can put these between your 2 15mm strips just to differentiate them, or just like kind of close to the top of one of them, and like that's the only foil overlay. If one of them has a really cool pattern that you don't want to cover up, this would be great for that. And then we have the lines similar for that purpose. So these have lines and dots, the top 2. This strip is 2 lines, so you can see they're both attached. And then we have just lines of varying thicknesses for the last 3. So you can have a thicker line, a thinner line, and then you can also mix and match. So if you want to do the thick line and then the double lines, you can do that. Thick line and then really skinny line. You can just mix and match these however you want and just layer them. And then of course we have the divider sizes over there. So, yep, I'm really going to enjoy having these, I think, because I'm trying not to go too crazy with foil overlays lately in my own spreads. So having more subtle options is the way to go, because like I have said before, 2023 is the year to let the clip art shine and go more minimal with the foil. Well, it's really more minimaximal because I'm using a ton more foil. Like this is a lot of foil things to be adding everywhere, but like the foil itself is like really small. So I think that's a good trade-off. So next we'll go into the full box overlays and other types of overlays that I am adding. It was about time that I had just a classic confetti border overlay. So we do have the rectangular border. These borders are on their own sheets. I have like line borders version 1 and version 2 in shop, but I'm going to be adding all of these as well. So we have the border and then the little confetti dots around that. It's a real basic kind of overlay, I feel like now. So about time we added that. And then we have like a million more variations of that. So instead of confetti dots, you can also get one that has flowers on the outside. Really pretty floral design. I tried to shrink it down so that you could still definitely see it around the border. And then we have these sparkles or twinkles, whatever you want to call them. And then the plaid ones from the apple pie collection. I did take those and put them on a sheet of their own. I feel like this is a super basic plaid pattern that I kind of just made, but I feel like there's better plaids out there, so I might add some more plaids. We'll see. And then we have a lace one as well. Really pretty lace design. And then we have 3 versions of stripes. So we have our slanted stripes. And then we have the vertical and the horizontal, which are a lot smaller. Just for fun. I don't know. I honestly am not too sure when I would use those, but I just wanted to have them, so they exist. And then going outside of the border ones, I just wanted to do more basic overlays. So we have a couple of line designs. So this is kind of like modern Art Deco-y kind of style here. So we have like really busy lines going on there. It could almost be like a frame sort of situation. And then we have these 2 versions down here. So these 2 are the same, and then these 2 are different. And then we have a more simplistic one, which is just the corners. Again, we have like a more busy design and then a more simple one. And then we have just the photo corners, which again, you can purchase separately on their own sheet, but if you want them already as an overlay, you can get them on this sheet. And then we'll get into the double box scenes. So I did add more of those, obviously. Just a simple border double box scene was another really basic thing that I did not have yet. So here they are. You have a thinner border on the bottom and then a thicker one at the top, which there's not like a significant difference in thickness, but honestly, you know, it's fun to have options. That's like the motto of my shop. And then we have the confetti border for the double box scenes as well. Basically, a lot of the same designs are going to be repeated for the rest of these sheets. And then we have the floral one. The only reason that I did everything else in floral and not like all the other 10 full box overlay designs was because I had already done it before I realized I do not want to sit down and do like 15 for each. So I kind of just stopped at floral. But you do get floral border double box scenes out of that. And then you get the corners, of course, photo corners. And then I did some lines as well. So there's that. And next we have the tall boxes. Everything that I show you is also available in the tall box size, which is like the SPC size. The ones pictured are going to be the Glam Planner one because I wanted to just show you the flags at the bottom as well. So we have the simple border tall box overlay, and then there is a simple border flag overlay too. Super cute. So we have that, and then we have the confetti border, and then of course the the flowers, and then the floral overlays, which are super cute for the flags. And then we have the lines, of course, and then not pictured is the photo corners, which are also available on the tall boxes. I just didn't want to print that one out because it was just super unnecessary. It's just this design, but on a tall box. And then same for big boxes. All of the big boxes are now available in all 5 of these designs as well. In the simple border, confetti border, floral, in this exact lines pattern, and then also in the photo corners. And then one additional design that is not featured on the tall boxes or double box scenes, which is the double border like offset kind of situation, which is available as just a regular full box overlay on one of those line borders sheets. But I also thought it'd be really fun to make this into a big box overlay, so there it is. All right, so that is pretty much it. It's like 38 new sheets. It is an insane addition to the basics collection, but I'm very excited about all of it. I think it's going to be really fun to just be able to have more options to pick and choose from to fit with any spread that you want. Conspicuously missing from this release is new underlays. I do have quite a lot of underlays in my underlays listing now, in addition to all the collection underlays that have come out, which is a ton. I do like 4 for each collection, and I've done like, I don't know what, 20 collections now or something, so that's like 80. So there's a ton of underlays in the collections, but in the actual underlays listing, there's a ton of like really basic stuff along with basics patterns. I have a ton of like fabric patterns, which I love. I have knit, I have gingham, I have plaid, I have some like cameo underlays, I have a bunch of symbols, I have stars and hearts and peace signs and yin yang. I have a lot in there. So I didn't like feel the need to do any right now, but I did get my hands on a bunch of new patterns that I have yet to turn into underlays. So keep an eye out for the future. There are going to be a lot more underlays released based on those patterns, a lot of like wallpapery or floral stuff that I really want to work with. So I'm going to take the time one day and just sit down and do that. So there is going to be another basics collection editions release week one of these weeks, but I have planned out everything for the first quarter of this year. Obviously stuff's going to move around as new kits are released, new art sets that are based on like pop culture or something else it's like timely that I need to get a collection out for. So stuff is going to be moved around, but I do have like a basic plan. But keep the suggestions coming. Every time you see something that you want a collection for, just let me know, and I do keep a running list of all the suggestions. Most of the stuff that I for sure want to do a collection on has already been put into the calendar. I do have a ton of like foil bundle exclusive ideas. Like I have a ton of those that have not been scheduled yet, so I might squeeze those in if I have time, might turn them into a whole collection if like a kit comes out that everybody's getting. So we'll see on that, but just keep sending me your ideas and I'll like fit it in where I see fit. But yeah, I'm very excited to start off 2023 with a bang with all these gorgeous new basic sheets, and then also jumping right into the collections coming up. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to like, comment, subscribe, and share, that would be wonderful. And I will see you in my next video. Ciao, ciao.